Story of an ancient community with rich cultural heritage and tourism potential. Sadly, it is grappling with sheer neglect and deprivation. Located in the western part of Ogun State, Imeko community shares a border with Benin Republic, and it has a place in the colonial history of Nigeria. Musa Toliad is on standby to tell us more about this ancient community, challenges, and its potential.
Imeko is a small ancient community located in a hilly region of Ogun State. The natives are predominantly Yorubas from K2 extraction, and they engage in farming as a source of livelihood. The mention of the community readily suggests the location of the Celestial City, established by the founder of Celestial Church, late Samuel Bilewu Oshofa, in 1983.
Before we came to be known as Imeko, we were known as Ile Igbinre. When we are talking about Igbinre, we are talking about farming, we're talking about agriculture. And that's why our appellation is Imeko Igbinre Koti or Imeko Agbinre Koti, Imeko Itan. We are farming never feed and farmers ever flourish, or farmers never suffer.
But beyond that, history has it that Imeko played host to the British colonial administrative headquarters when it became necessary to effectively administer the Western District of Lagos Colony between 1893 and 1905. The creation of Imeko from local government area in 1996 by the late head of state, General Sani Abacha, brought a glimmer of hope for an all-round development of the community. 22 years after the creation of the local government, Imeko is still wallowing in underdevelopment.
No education is when you have your certificate from any tertiary institution that somebody will employ you. So no any government establishment, no industry here. Even the agriculture, the world has gone beyond hoeing and cutlasses.
We were told by the monarch of the Imeko kingdom that the fortunes of the ancient community lie in the rainforest, where its tourist assets and historical sites wait patiently to be tapped. It was a Herculean task locating some of the tourism attractions in the depth of the luscious green savanna and sparse tropical forest. This spring water is what is left of once attractive waterfall known as Odo Oshun. There's also a cave that provided shelter for the natives during the Egba-Dahomey intertribal war between 1851 and 1864, known as Odo Efun. We later located what the natives call River Jordan. It is said to possess healing powers and does not get hot no matter the effort made to boil it.
Because if I get some strangers, if I carry their come, if they are healed, and they will come and thanksgiving for me. And I know that I didn't put anything inside this water before I give it to them.
If you can do staircase from here down there, with railing here, if you go down there, the road is straight. But if they can put more money here, it will fetch them money. It will fetch government money.
The story of utter underdevelopment plays out everywhere in Imeko. For example, no single commercial bank is located in the community.
If someone says you want to send money to us, it will just ask, can you get where you can collect the money? So we are using POS. And how many years are we going to use that POS now?
Lack of a drainage system exposes residents to flash flood during rainy season.
Life is very difficult when it's raining. When it's raining in Imeko.
The present predicament in this small community makes it difficult for any form of business to thrive. Not even a broadcast outfit can survive the economic downturn in Imeko community.
Imeko needs attention in order to tap the tourism potential it has to offer. Now, once upon a time in this country, a white-collar job was considered the preferred job after education. However, the tide appears to be turning, and quite fast too, probably as an indirect consequence of growing unemployment rate. Many Nigerian graduates are acquiring vocational skills and opening for themselves new vistas of employment, self-employment. I recently interacted with a few in this category who are passionate about what they do. My 4 young subjects, all graduates, snubbed white-collar jobs and became entrepreneurs for similar reasons.
I practiced for about a year. And then after that, it all started, I think, from my office. A lawyer then, she would be like, bring those soaps. I would, tell me, like, so she was the first person that actually paid me. She's like, oh, I can't keep making this myself. Why don't you take all this money, make as much for me and my kids, my husband, everybody. I'm like, okay, cool. And that was how it started.
Okay, so it was a construction company, so that was where I worked for like 6 months. So I was there, but as it was going, it wasn't what I intended for myself. It wasn't going as what I was, because my salary was like 30K. Then after 6 months in the job, I had to resign my job and I ventured into the shoemaking business.
They tell me that passion determines their preferred hustle.
I was looking for a job, but when I realized that there is passion in me, there's something in me that wants me to make more. Something, that zeal, I was just happy that people are patronizing me, so I just have to let me try it. I started the hat making. From there, I said, a woman wearing a hat is not complete without not looking good. So I went to learn how to make makeup. From there, I started bead.
In school, then I loved buying very good shoes. Then I also sometimes buy shoes for my friend on Lagos Island. Then when I told my friend about going to shoemaking, it wasn't really they could easily think about, okay, you like shoes back then, so it wasn't hard for me to go in.
Success wasn't an overnight thing. One word worked the magic: persistence.
I'm this kind of person. Once I see someone, oh, hi, this is what I do. And then they go, okay, yeah, like I'm always in your face, like, So when I'm flying, traveling somewhere, I'm always in people's faces, like, hello, that, oh, what cost this? Okay, this is what I do, actually. I can send you a sample, let me know. So I'm always in people's faces.
Time wait for no one. When you're actually waiting for time, if you keep procrastinating and waiting to do something at a later date, you might never get to do it. So you just have to start now, no matter how little.
And then social media, which has become more or less an abstract global mall, serves as the retail outlet for all of them.
Well, thanks to the internet, it has made things very easy. You can actually do you can actually be in several places at the same time.
I didn't have a shop, and I was selling. How was I selling? Through internet.
It all sounds too rosy, doesn't it? Surely there are challenges.
I was working alone. I was doing everything myself. Delivery, making the product, buying materials, everything was a whole lot on me. So like as we kept going on, things started shaping up.
Because you must be able to think out of the box in order to overcome any challenges that comes.
In spite of these constraints, they can be lured back into the white-collar system. Who better to drive home the message than these young people breaking ground?
Your set goal begins from you. And if you don't put this in place, you become the obstacles.
You have to know your craft. If you know your craft, people will find you.
Once you have a dream, you have a vision you want to push, and you are very sure about yourself, and just follow, because nobody sees your vision clearer than you do.
Yes, that was to motivate young people. If you've been running around with your CV, maybe it's time to channel that energy into your passion. The bridges across Lagos Lagoon were designed for easy passage of vehicles, as well as protecting people walking on foot from falling off. Unfortunately, some persons with suicidal thoughts have turned them to a quick escape for their intentions. Meldori takes a look at the trend in the last 2 years.
In 2017, a 35-year-old medical doctor was reported to have committed suicide by jumping into the Lagos Lagoon over the Third Mainland Bridge. A few others have also followed with plans of ending their misery. The steady rise in suicide cases in Lagos alone has become worrisome. Though there have been cases of suicide in the past, but the recent ones, which continuously take a particular form, is what many are questioning. The rate at which people are jumping into the Lagos Lagoon is alarming. In March 2017, a woman was rescued from jumping into the lagoon. Another man jumped off the bridge in October of the same year. His body was later recovered by the police. Most recent case is that of the undergraduate of the Lagos State University named Kingsley Gabriel, who was rescued by the Lagos State Waterways Authority in June this year while attempting to end his life at the Falomore Bridge.
We got that report. He was rescued. He was rescued, and the law is clear. Many people called me to say, after his ordeal, why do you intend to charge him to court? Suicide attempt is an offense.
Why is suicide an alternative to problems?
Out of frustration, when people they push to the wall Some of those guys, where they go jump, they get families to cater for. Maybe they say they do retrenchment of workers, they sack them, come on.
But when you're having so many problems surrounding from the family, you want to pay these bills everywhere, they are chasing you all around. Some people don't have any choice. That's why some people go strangle themselves.
One cannot just do it just with a free mind. There must be something behind it. If it's not mentally disorder or maybe unseen problems.
How would I not believe that it's my problem, I have to keep it to myself? Then before you know, it consumes you and then you are depressed. And once you're depressed, you take unreasonable actions.
Mind experts identify depression as leading cause of suicide.
Someone that has a chronic illness, for example, or the fact that they have a family history of suicide, which is also a biological cause, or some people have this, we call it genetic mutation. So that's what makes them vulnerable to committing suicide. They are predisposed to doing that.
The person doesn't want to go back to that state of loss and pain and loneliness and discouragement. So as he's just recovering, so let me just kill myself.
Some respondents say the hustle and bustle of Lagos, coupled with other economic and social challenges, could also be responsible. What are the telltale signs of suicide?
Suicide ideation. People having ideas about suicide. And it's not just idea. You see the person start talking. He will drop the words here. What's the words? You hear him say, what's the worth of this life? Is it not better to die? You know, if you are close to the person, you will hear the person make such comments. It's a sign that this person is considering suicide.
Medical experts explain how the trend can be discouraged.
To ensure that the person actually gets help. If it's a depressive illness, we have antidepressant medications that we can place the person on in conjunction or in combination with psychotherapeutic measures. That means like talk therapy.
The Lagos State Commissioner of Police says anyone caught attempting suicide will be arrested and prosecuted in court, as the act is illegal and therefore criminal.
If you attempt to commit suicide, you'll be charged to court. Yes. And personally, I do not see any reason why any Nigerian, any Nigerian should attempt to commit suicide. There's hope. And at the end of the tunnel, things are improving. So we must keep the hope burning.
We've said it here many times. Suicide is not a solution to life's problems. Depression can be managed. Seek out psychologists around you. You will be fine, okay? Now, couples who share a single bank account will tell you that they vowed to share everything together and money ought not to be out of the equation. But most Nigerian couples isolate money by maintaining separate bank accounts, sometimes not knowing each other's monetary strengths or weakness. Annie Daniels will now present public opinion on this controversial issue.
The first question I threw at respondents was if they love their spouses enough to operate a joint bank account with them.
I have a joint account with my husband. Yeah, I do.
No, I don't have an account with her.
There are reasons for these answers.
It's a long story anyway.
Women are very extravagant. If they have money at their disposal until they finish it, they won't rest. There's always something to buy.
It helps to avoid friction between the husband and the wife.
There are also those who do not have a single idea of what a joint bank account is all about. So I offered an explanation, including telling them the benefits, making it easier for couples to pay bills, save for rainy days, keep track of their expenditure, help with budgeting and saving for the future. They agree that the advantages are appealing, but shocks me further.
Money is not everything. There's something you can do to your something you can do to your wife that yes, we appreciate it.
The reason why that I cannot put my wife there is, wife is my family, but I just marry her. It is not my own blood-related family. I can divorce her, go and marry another.
Professor Chris Onalo is a marriage counselor. He allays the fears of these respondents.
Go to court, declare that account. Both of you are equal signatory to it. Declare it. And I'm sure the judge will ask question what needed to be looked after legally, which comes from that savings. And there will be clear division of that money as to what goes to the man and what goes to the woman.
Professor Onalo gives more insight.
There will be no announcement that your debt is coming on so and so date. Put your house in order. So many people have lost, in their bid to be very clever, has lost family wealth to other people. A lot of banks all over the world have free fund that comes to them because of this difficult disposition on the part of either the wife or the husband. So it is penny wise, pound foolish.
Because marriage has religious validation, I approached some clerics on the issue.
Husband and wife should be open book to themselves. Open book. I should know what you have, you should know what I have. It's not a question of the man earning so much. They don't keep joint account, they don't keep anything. The man dies suddenly, problem comes in. So if it's based on love, if it's based on trust, why should they not keep joint account?
In Islam, we cannot say, yes, people must go ahead and be having joint account. Then we cannot totally stop them because in most cases, issues are circumstantial, that there could be necessity for them to really have joint account.
The verdict stays out on the issue of a joint bank account for couples. Well, if you ask me, the merits of having a common purse by couples outweigh the demerits. Becky, I'm sure, will agree with me.
Yes, Annie, trust is everything when it comes to maintaining a single account. One partner should not be depositing while the other keeps withdrawing. That's what couples dread, actually. Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, is where we go next. Stay on the line to find out what Newsline went there to do.
You are beautiful, intelligent, strong, determined, dauntless, talented, extraordinary, unique, innovative, iconic, aging gracefully, aging in comfort. Whoever, wherever, whenever, we are here to enable you to be you. Stanbic IBTC, moving forward. The smartphone network. For close to 60 years, Golden Penny has been feeding the nation every day, providing quality, wholesome nutrition to a nation of people who love to sing when we are happy, love to tell stories when we are together, love to dance when we hang out, love to cry when we are touched, love to shout when we are excited, and love to nurture when we care. We are the food basket of our great nation, and we love it. Golden Penny, feeding the nation every day.
Welcome back. What would you do if your expensive SUV got bashed by a rickety Lagos commercial vehicle? This is Abuja Insurance Companies in Nigeria under the platform of Insured Assurance Initiative through at People in a bid to stimulate the interest of Nigerians to benefit from insurance policies. The real-life experience held in Lagos is part of the Live with Freedom campaign aimed at increasing insurance traffic through active participation. Michael Olaleye reports.
This thought-provoking scene paints the picture of uncertainty and the risk associated with not having an insurance scheme. The captivating strength of the scenario is not just visible, but appealing as passers-by and residents could not resist the temptation but to share their thoughts.
It tells a lot of stories. And I mean, for someone who is a driver myself, I have experienced situations like this before, especially with taxis or Marwa and all that.
I'll take a selfie. Take a selfie with the driver, take a selfie with him. He's not going to pay anyway, so why should I bother him?
I mean, one of those, man, pray that my insurance is not canceled. Because I know something like that, I probably don't have insurance.
Despite the projection by the National Insurance Commission, NICAN, that the sector will achieve its target of growing its overall premium from the current level of 400 billion naira to 1.1 trillion naira in 2017, there is perceived lack of interest from the public due to certain factors even in 2018.
By the time you begin to pay claims as they arise, as they occur, you see a lot of people will insure their vehicles, will insure their assets, will insure everything, laptops.
This campaign, an initiative of all the insurance companies in Nigeria, is using real-life experience to create compelling impression that insurance is inevitable.
The law says at least you must have a third-party insurance cover on your vehicle. That is the list.
With the hashtag Insured Assurance, the campaign is built around the knowledge that when it comes to life's precious things like your life, health, and business, insurance is the way to go.
Moving on, in developing and unlocking tourism potentials within Nigeria, successive state administrators with notable sites and tourist destinations have had to explore creative avenues to reopen their doors and attract income and people through this means. One of such is Abuja State, which recently won the 2018 Business Day State Competitiveness and Good Governance Award for Tourism Development. Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed reports that the state governor, Mohammed Abubakar, at the event, assured citizens of his administration's commitment to transforming the state into one of Africa's leading tourism destinations.
Tourism is one sector, if fully harnessed, will attract visitors from all over the world and in turn provide employment to a multitude of people and also serve as a means of revenue generation. Bauchi State is therefore a home to one of Africa's biggest and finest eco-tourism destination, the Yankari Resort and Safari, that has a landmass of over 2,200 square kilometers with lots of animal species and warm springs, which the government of Muhammad Abubakar is working assiduously to preserve and promote, and has earned him the 2018 Business Day State Competitiveness and Good Governance Award for Best in Tourism Development.
Present you this plaque for the most improved tourism state in Nigeria.
I am sure if this continues, there are other areas when the facts are down that I believe my state will have won laurels. For example, we are a state that is located in the northeastern sub-region. We are a state that has many, many forests. But all the issues of security that are bedeviling all other states, you don't get to hear about them in both states.
Your successful efforts in striving for good governance and enhancing competitiveness of your respective states in various segments and sectors is laudable and worthy of commendation.
The governors of Gombe, Nasarawa, Rivers, Osun, Edo, Kogi, Anambra, Jigawa, Kwara, and Enugu states were also awarded for promoting good governance in their states.
Congrats to the Bauchi State Governor on this award. The diverse ethnic groups in Nigeria have their peculiar traditional mode of dressing. What they mostly have in common is women wearing wrappers. The states stand out because the men, just like the women, adorn George wrappers, and they do so with pride. Annie Daniels came across a colorful group of men who had quite a lot to say about the rules that come with men tying wrappers.
Nigerians are always quick to acknowledge how proud they are of their cultural heritage. This can be seen in events such as weddings, birthdays, and festivals, where Nigerians turn out in various traditional attires. I came across a group of people who were so proud of their traditional costumes. What caught my attention, however, was the pride and joy with which men, young and old, tied their colorful George wrappers and other local accessories.
Our dressing is unique. Our dressing is unique in the sense that anywhere we go, when we dress in our full regalia like this, people respect us and respect our culture. The bead on my neck is not heavy because we are used to it.
The beads, it just shows that God is awesome. These beads you are seeing, they're not easy to come by. And this is the original walking stick that our parents used to. They carved one like this. It's not this one that looks like an umbrella. This is the original walking stick. When you have this bowler hat on, then you know that you are there.
Like Becky mentioned, these are the Urobos of Delta State.
This is something that started from when I was a child. My late father taught us how to tie wrapper when we were small. So I'm used to it. I can do it in 1 second.
The wrapper is tied to the left. You can see it this way. Tied to the left. So Elena will tie to the right. So apart from the dressing, there's our food called Ogwo soup and stash.
Yes, indeed. The wrapper is an important asset to an Urobo man and can be worn anywhere in the world.
You can use other form of wrapper to do it, but you have to do it in a very unique manner and very responsible. Our foreign friends, when they see them, they know that we are in our true culture. We are displaying.
The younger generation who are catching up with their elders, however, expressed some reservations.
This is my second time wearing it. Someone helped me tie the wrapper, but I wore this. And the only thing I would say is a little bit hot. So you cut the thickness.
Those who are learning will use belts to hold, but those old ones who are experienced like us, we just that way we tie it without belts.
In all, what's remarkable is that the Urobos stand out at events, thanks to their elaborate wrappers.
Flamboyant traditional gear, if we ever saw one. Now, all human beings are gifted in different areas, but the question is, how do you discover your gifts in life? This is a story of Olarinwaju Ogunleye, and the Ibadan-based sign writer who is gifted at recalling dates and days without looking at a calendar. Busola Owuru will tell the story.
2010.
2010. That is Friday.
Said Friday. Said January 2, 1993.
That January 2, 1999, 1993, Saturday.
He said it's a Saturday. He's actually correct. All human beings are endowed with intelligence, but to what use and how developed vary from one man to another. Olarinwaju Ogunleye, a young man who is 44 years, is still a study case to people who come across him, his close allies and clients. What stands Olarinwaju out is his rare gift of recalling precise day whenever you mention a date in the past without referencing the calendar.
August 5, 2000, year 2000.
August 5, 2000. Saturday.
Said Saturday. He got it right.
One would have thought that Olanrewaju's rare gift of recall would make him an academic excellence, but he uses that in his artworks, and his family is proud of him.
Somebody like this man, I know met somewhere like that man, because he's very balanced man, and the memory is very sharp.
It's only that God that gave him the intelligence on that day.
In fact, it's everything. It's complete. When you're talking of memory, it's 1,000 gigabytes.
Excuse that, I've never been in a poly, so this little English I'm speaking now is a what people used to say that's a form 5 of daytime. It's more hygienic than this current one. I don't with this little English I'm speaking now. I've never stepped into Polytechnic of Ibadan or UI.
Psychiatrists say Olanrewaju's case is not new to knowledge, but they are rare to come by.
These people have only chosen to focus on those details. There are many other things that they may also miss. So it means that they may focus too much on those details at the expense of some other things that they should be.
Many people have talents or gifts they could develop upon. You could perhaps develop on it to the usefulness of the society.
That is a human robot, a massive, humongous memory box he's got. It's been a rich second segment. Let's take a break now. Please stay on the line.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Guys, listen to me, man. This agbada I'm making will be fresher than that last one. Hey, Susu! What's up?
H2O, water's gonna be jealous.
I no longer worry about deodorant stains with Nivea Invisible for black and white deodorant. No white marks on black and no yellow stains on white. My black stays black and white stays white longer. Invisible for black and white deodorant from Nivea.
Also available, Nivea Men Invisible for black and white deodorant from Nivea Men. It starts with you.
Share a Mentos, make a friend. Stick together till the end. Share a Mentos, socialize. Share Mentos and be nice.
Mentos candy. Crunchy outside, chewy inside.
Have some fun. Who says no to Mentos?
Now introducing the new Mentos Extra Strong Mint.
Brought us as usual.
As usual.
You have no problem. For the three
You are welcome, sir.
as usual, yeah? I was...
You take that one. Yes. Take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. Mom to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
How they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Glad to have you back. The land of aquatic splendor, Lagos, is blessed with many beautiful beaches that attract thousands of tourists and fun seekers, especially on holidays. However, massive erosion is now threatening natural appeal of those beaches. Jennifer Igwe reports that environmentalists are sounding the alarm on why preserving the existence of Lagos beaches must be prioritized.
There was a saying years ago that what is visiting Lagos without seeing the Lagos Bar Beach? It was top on the list of places to visit for first-timers to the mega city.
And they would relax under the hundreds and hundreds of coconut trees that were there, taking the sea breeze with the wide expanse of beach sand.
Today, however, this magnificent initiative has taken away that shine. It is the Eco-Atlantic City project, a new planned city in Lagos occupying 10 million square meters of land reclaimed from the ocean. Then there was the Koramo Beach and Lekki Lagoon. They were tourist delights. Today, massive construction projects sit on where they used to exist. There are still, however, bubbling beaches all along the Lekki stretch. Environmentalists and conservationists are, however, raising alarm that if the massive erosion bedeviling the coastline is not contained, the ocean could take over the beaches in Lekki and even adjoining residential and business districts.
Just this year alone, based on our own physical and based on the facts that we have on ground, we have lost over 50 to 100 meters just this year alone.
Motari Aminu Kanu, head of the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, has been involved in conservation activities for 30 years now. The recurring ecological challenges of Victoria Island and Lekki coastline are things he has observed for years now.
Where the Bar Beach used to erode every year, there was flooding along Amadibella Way going right up to NTA every year. And the Eco-Atlantic project has stopped that. So it has contributed to stopping the erosion in VI and around Bar Beach. But like we said, then other problems have come on further down east.
Other environmental activists agree with Aminu Kanu. They say a myriad of challenges is responsible for the disappearing shoreline, including the sweet and sour role of the Eco-Atlantic City Adaptation Initiative.
It has saved VI, but also it has pushed the problem eastwards. And more needs to be done so that in saving the Bar Beach, in saving VI, we don't then lose Lekki.
Other factors are that we have actually completely built up the Lekki axis of Lagos. We've used sand to fill up a lot of the channels. Illegal sand mining is still going on around the coastline. And the implementers of the Eco-Atlantic project also know that there is going to be an impact of the project downstream, and that's why the Lagos state government started building breakwaters.
These groins by the Lagos state government are helping to protect some parts of the shoreline. In spite of this, however, Goshen Beach, for instance, is a major casualty where the shoreline has totally been overtaken by the ocean.
So what we've seen is that where the groins are deployed, the shoreline is protected. But as you stop, the next stretch of beach is being eroded at a phenomenal rate.
The solution, experts say, involves a holistic approach by the federal and state governments.
The groins is a good solution, but for it to be effective, we have to continue all the way to Escravos in Delta State.
For the local people who reside along the Lekki shoreline, it's been a tale of woe.
When you wake up, all house will fill of water and people will be afraid.
The devastating impact of ocean surge is certainly no respecter of economic status, class or race. And if the rate at which the erosion is occurring, which is aggravated by sea level rise occasioned by climate change, is not checked, more dramatic stories that touch the heart and nation could become the order of the day.
The beaches of Lagos need preservation, not just for recreational purposes, but to preserve the environment as well. Now, ahead of the partial closure of the third mainland bridge in order for the Federal Ministry of Works to commence integrity tests, the Lagos state government has given articulated vehicles additional 24 hours to evacuate the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway to enable free flow of traffic during the week. Abolore Obara, who monitored the situation, reports that the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Commissioner of Transportation, and his information and strategy counterpart paid an unscheduled visit to the routes that lead to the nation's seaport to ensure that modalities are in place for smooth motoring.
Perennial gridlock on the major roads that leads to the nation's seaports. Despite efforts by relevant authorities to ease the traffic jam, the situation is not getting any better. The traffic situation is aggravated by indiscriminate and illegal parking of tankers and heavy-duty trucks on the alternative routes to the port.
The mission is to ensure that from Toyota down to mile 2 on top of the bridge, the service lane is made completely free so that small vehicles can have access. This operation we have extended for the next 24 hours. So we are not talking 72 hours anymore.
It was a direction that was given by the governor to find a palliative measure in the short term while we at the Ministry of Transportation and other MDAs were looking together, putting together a medium to long-term solution.
Most importantly is to appeal to Lagosians and to, just as we are thanking them for the patience they have shown, that from tomorrow they will see that this area is already free and we will maintain and sustain the tempo to ensure that things do not go bad again.
Lagosians say This development could worsen when the federal government eventually shut the Third Mainland Bridge for integrated bridge test.
As they do this road, they try. Only want to say they're not fast. So all these, so many companies, they don't park more for Papa here. So business not going like before again.
Papa, the traffic now, whoa. Where would they have Papa like this? You know, we don't see road at all.
Everywhere is congested. We're only trying to maneuver. It has not been convenient at all. And I'm now wondering what will happen with the closure of the Third Mainland Bridge next week.
Bad roads and reconstruction of the bridge on the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway, Ijora roads, respondents say are the contributing factors to the gridlock.
We use like 30 minutes, 45 minutes for inside terminal. 3 weeks go there.
Road is very bad as it is now. Everywhere don't block. I don't go lie you. Now we dey hear am.
Too bad. We have been here about 2 hours and now 2 hours plus. Traffic everywhere.
Once a goods is being discharged, for them to return the empty container back to the stack, they will stay on this queue for 3 weeks.
Government is intensifying efforts to ensure that the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway gridlock, including challenges posed by heavy duty, are addressed before the closure of the Third Mainland Bridge.
Elsewhere, traveling on the dual carriageway from Lagos to Badagry should ordinarily be a pleasure, but for many commuters, it is now an ordeal. Mohammed Abdulkadri had a taste of the daily experience on this road.
Traffic at standstill at Agbara section of the Lagos-Badagry Expressway. It stays this way for extended period. Cars, trucks, commuters all stuck. This is an international route to some of the commuters who are either going out or coming into the country. In this gridlock, man-hours are lost. The few law enforcement officers can do little. Everybody resorts to self-help. Chaos reigns.
This hold up is the bad road, number one. The road is very, very bad. And it is the reason why this hold up is being caused.
Okay. The problem is too much. Okay. It's too much from morning till night. That's what you go do. No movement at all. I beg you now.
Every day by day, we are struggling. Not cheap. Look at the road.
This is the daily trauma travelers experience commuting between Lagos and Badagry.
Cannot wait on the hold up. That's why we are trekking long distance. Okay. Well, we pray, let there be solution to this problem. We cannot continue like this.
It's very hectic, so hectic. Yeah, the road is in a very bad state. The government needs to do something about it.
You can see now that all of us are trekking because of the bad road. Okay. That's why we are trekking. If the government can help us to put the road on that.
The Agbara section may be more notorious, but at several sections of the about 60 kilometers expressway, traffic are making the journey an ordeal.
Over 3 hours now. So the road is bad from Yanoba to Badagry. No good road.
The road has actually caused so many damage on my car. As I'm even talking to you, each and every, in fact, in 2 weeks, I'm actually changing the shock absorbers of my car, the ball joints, tie rods, every time we're always working on them.
A trip that should not take more than an hour now takes several hours with added rigor.
I've been in the hold-up now for past 3 hours on my way from work.
Okay.
This is the situation
on your car, the bad road.
Oh my God, my the front tires are having issues.
Right behind me, the work going on is being sponsored by a Good Samaritan who believe that this is the main cause of the hold-up. Let us meet the Good Samaritan, Emeka Odili.
So when I came here, I saw a deposit of rocks, and nobody is doing anything on it. And some of these guys, they're just kind of trying to do it and to get money from the vehicle, the commuter. And I felt like, okay, what can you do? If I give you some money, if I pay you, will you be able to do the job? So they said yes, and if I can give them money, I said, okay, fine, go ahead. I'll pay whatever amount it is, so that this, you can level it up, so that the traffic will flow.
It is a small gesture that eased the situation but does not drastically change. Traveling between Lagos and Badagry has become a harrowing experience for the thousands of commuters who ply that route.
And whoever that can do something, let us all contribute to the betterment of this country.
Yes, this is a great lesson to the people out there What are you doing to assuage people's suffering, especially traffic situations such as this? The onus is on all of us to help the government to help ourselves.
Mohammed is right. Government alone cannot do everything. With self-help projects, we can meet the 3 tiers of government by a quarter. There is this saying that if you can drive in Lagos, you can drive anywhere. This belief is predicated on the fact that some motorists in Lagos drive like movie stuntsmen. Then the competition among downfall drivers, commercial motorcyclists, tricycle riders, and anyone on a wheel, as well as street traders, is fierce and dangerous. Why is the driving culture in Lagos a threat to safety? Adiola Omokivie was assigned to ask this question. Let's hear the answers.
I have heard this saying frequently, that if you can drive in the city of Lagos, you can drive elsewhere in the country. And this is because Lagos is said to have the worst set of drivers as well as the most cautious of them all.
Traffic situation in Lagos metropolis on a daily basis is usually characterized with hustle and bustle. The trending, rowdy and sometimes clumsy traffic situation in the state, no doubt, requires some level of compliance to the do's and don'ts of driving culture.
Any driver that is arrested today in Lagos and is driving against the flow of traffic, you still go through that psychiatric or drive. If you are arrested for driving one way, you will forfeit that vehicle to the Lagos state government. And those that do not forfeit their vehicle for other traffic offenses, under the Lagos traffic law, the fines are very drivers. In addition to that psychiatric test.
Drivers who ply major routes most times hardly pay attention to road traffic signs and regulations or have regard for pedestrians. What then is responsible for this?
The traffic warders are not there, or they are reckless in their way of driving. Everybody, you see abnormal and normal people walking on the same road.
Some of them, maybe they are drunk. Then some of them, maybe they don't know much about this driving system.
Yes, you could say that somewhere like Lagos that has a lot of stress, if you'd put it that way. People have to wake up early to get to work on time. There's traffic. The power situation in Nigeria doesn't help things. Things are expensive. So if someone has to go through all of that, it might predispose the person to break down.
And in an ideal situation, how is driving supposed to be?
Teach people right from school, teach them road science.
The Road Safety Authority and the Lagos State Road Transport Management Authority, they need to do deliberate orientation.
In it. Road safety is a collective responsibility. It's not even something you just do for us because we are in uniform. You as a passenger, you have a role to play.
More worrisome is the presence of articulated vehicles and the nonchalant attitude of their drivers to other smaller vehicles, with resultant impact of loss of lives and property. Stakeholders in the transport sector say enlightenment campaigns for drivers to adhere to road traffic laws and regulations, as well as making safety their watchword, have been going on.
Yes, we are doing so much. And the drivers that drive these vehicles also on their own is another major factor that we cannot overlook. And that's why we have the driver safety standards. We have been partnered with Nupeng PTD to ensure that periodically they release these drivers for us to train.
First of all, talk about the drinking. We always check our driver before they can travel. Anybody that drive, we not allow him to drive. And we give him a 3-week suspension so that he won't drive. So we use this one to caution our driver that we have a candidate, that all these people, if they see that our driver drive wrongly, they will report to us.
It is believed that once road traffic laws are obeyed, driving in Lagos will be on the pedestal of culture obtainable in the civilized motoring community.
Yes, the road safety personnel have a lot more work to do. Lagos drivers also need to apply caution, just like me. Another commercial break is what's on cue. We shall go down that lane and come back to tell you why a special group of people are always seen around the National Stadium in Lagos. Stay on the line.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts.
They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Welcome back. When one is talented and determined to excel in sports, all that's required is proper grooming, and stardom is guaranteed. This is a story of a deaf and dumb sportsman who, in spite of his challenges, displays his I-can-do spirit in the boxing ring. Paul Ogaji will tell us more about this special Nigerian.
His name is Segun Bobani. He represented Olomo Boxing Club, Okokomaiko, at the 93rd edition of the Boxing Hall of Fame in Lagos. It was observed that before the fight, the communication between Segun and his coach was with sign because he is deaf and speech impaired.